serendipity of your being here. Huh? So you have a running start on a good life, and you didn't have a choice about that. But you have a choice if you make it great. Actually, thinking about the group that I came into in that class and who I see now, I think great is boring for you. My invitation is that you take on that you have the choice to make your life extraordinary. And it seems like it's stretching out endlessly before you, but I'm 43 and it seems like a second ago that I was sitting where you're sitting. So it's going to be over before you know it. And I don't know where we go after this, but while we're here, we might as well make it fun, we might as well make it matter. So what are you going to do with your lucky lottery ticket? What are you going to do with your one precious life? I know a little bit about the serendipity of a lucky lottery ticket. I was born, when I came into this world, I was born into a cult in the cornfields of Indiana. I'm the oldest of 7 girls. It was a Christian cult, so I affectionately and respectfully called them hippies for Jesus. It took me a little while to figure out what was the hippie part and what was the Jesus part, because you're just born into something. You don't know what's different about it. So it took me a little bit to figure out that the hippie part was that we grew our food and Mom made our clothes. The Jesus part was that the clothes were long skirts for women, right? And that we weren't allowed to go to doctors. And then I was married after the age of 19 to the guy that I had met at 15. And it sounds like it was a crazy lottery ticket, but I was actually lucky because my mom may have been a piano teacher and my dad may have washed cars, but we had food on the table. And I might have been homeschooled, but at least I could get an education, could go on to the University of Louisiana and then go on to Oxford, not too far away from here. I was lucky because of where I was born. And also coming out of that cult, I had a few ahas that I've seen over the course of life that I share also with you about this life thing. And one of those huge insights that I can give you as a gift where you are in the world, that what's norm is not normal. It's all made up. The rules of the game of life. What success means. Money, stuff, power. Everything is a cult. We're all in a belief system that we happen to be born into. And I suggest in some cases you would say we could be in the cult of capitalism right now, as we're going off and saying, how do we work it and mean it and make it a good life? That's not necessarily bad or wrong, it's just, does it work? Does it work for us? There's no one right way to live a human life. And if we made it up, if the rules of the game are made up, that's power, because that means that we can make it up differently. And we can make it up in a way that works for more of us if we want to. And there's something universal about this human experience that I've seen from the cornfields of Indiana to the bayous of Louisiana and all around the world as I've been in Myanmar, Mongolia, Mumbai. We all want the same things. Meaning and belonging. In some ways it's not more complicated than that. And we decide what that means for us. And the cool thing is that when we play the game of life in a way that helps others win, it's more fulfilling and more fun. A bigger we's a bigger winner. But you guys get this. So the invitation I have for you, and I like alliteration, so bear with me on this one. So wouldn't it be great to live a life of passion and purpose, as Dean talked about and she described your professors? Passion. Discover if you pursue it, you'll find your purpose in life. Purpose, if you're putting yourself to the service of others, and I would suggest doing that through business, through your life, you will be successful. And things won't be easy. They won't go the way that you want. Along the way, you are going to meet skeptics and cynics. But we can't climb a smooth mountain. You need something to hold on to. So the third P I invite you to is a positive attitude. Knowing that if we change our thinking, we change our life. We have the ability to change our mindsets. And with that, to truly alter our destiny. And that's why my co-founder, your former Commencement speaker, former CEO of Unilever, and I co-founded Imagine, inspired by the John Lennon Yoko Ono song, Imagine a World That Works for All, driving transformational leadership at a global level to reach the Sustainable Development Goals. And we founded it based on another P's that I have for you, 2 more, purposeful play. And that's the invitation for you. So let's talk about those briefly. Passion. What is your passion going to be? Why are you in this world? Do you want to fight for climate change, equal rights for women, people with disabilities or diffabilities? Is it something else that turns you on? What gets you excited? Because it starts with purpose, and that's an inner core. When I graduated, I went to work first for the homeless. And why? Because I knew I could have been one of them. I was this close. I had neighbors in Louisiana that had 2 teeth in their heads, right? I could have been somebody like that. But when I went into that and realized that actually in the purpose of giving back, and actually then going into business that has impact in the way, that when you go for purpose, you get more of the other stuff too. After working as a social entrepreneur, I went to Oxford, I ended up in Davos advocating for gender equality, was recruited to the global team of EY, ended up working with CEOs and C-suites around the world of the world's biggest companies, helping leaders use their powers for good. Your human tribe desperately and urgently needs you to take on purpose and to show up and play the game with us and for us in a way that works for more of us and with your precious time. I went back 2 days ago and I read the speech that my co-founder gave when he came here, and it gave me goosebumps. It was 2015, and he told the people who were sitting in the seats here with you before that he was going to the UN next week to help lead the adoption of the Sustainable Development Goals. And he talked about the upcoming Paris Agreement at the time to stem climate change. And now I stand here with you, about 4 years later, and the world has rallied behind the SDGs. We make jokes that the SDGs sounds like a disease that those of us who are single don't want to catch. But we're falling behind. And every day we're seeing the devastating effects of climate catastrophe. July was the hottest month again. I don't know where you were when we were all sweltering in the heat. We're depleting the world's natural resources. I went on a solo safari in the Masai Mara last year, and the tragedy was actually how solo it was. There was a single leopard there named Fig. And I thought, well, that's so sweet. Her name is Fig. And I thought, Jesus, Valerie, there's so few of them. We can name them Fig. There's a loss of biodiversity in our species, and this is still in a world where 2.3 billion of us don't have access to safe drinking water, 4 billion don't have safe sanitation, and 1 in 200 people is a slave. Those are big numbers, and the numbers are going in the wrong direction, with income inequality going up and climate crisis affecting the poor. And at times it seems like we rejoice in creating oceans of prosperity while we hide on small oceans of poverty, while we hide on small islands of prosperity. And the smart ones among you will say, well, technology will come along. Yeah, that's smart, and we need it. But if technology was the answer, why would 826 million people go to bed hungry every day? Our species doesn't need to do that anymore. Why is that happening? Why is 1 in 3 not in education? Why do we keep cutting the forests of the world, which are the lungs of our world? Do we really need technology to stop modern-day slavery and refugees, which are going up? What do we need? We need humanity. We need love. Love for other humans. Interconnectivity with and among people. Living in harmony with people and the planet. Our human tribe and our home. And right now, our generation and your generation needs to wake up and ask ourselves, if not us, who, and if not now, maybe never. Now, it won't be easy to play the game for purpose and profit, to go for money and meaning, finance and fulfillment. But I would suggest to you, and my life shows, and others do too, that when you go for purpose, you get profit. When you go for meaning, you get money. When you go for fulfillment, you get finance. If it was easy, everyone would have done it. The rules of the game here were made up for something else. Get a socially acceptable job, make some money, get some stuff, get some more stuff, have a husband, wife, children, grandchildren, get a little extra time, get a little extra money. But the most precious thing any of us have is time. It's the one thing you cannot get back, and when your heartbeats are up, they're up. So you're going to trade your time, which is your life, for what? So in conclusion, my invitation for you is to allow your passion to become your purpose, and it will become your profession. Follow your passions. They're going to change in time and with your life experiences, but you discover if you pursue it, you will find your purpose in life. And if you live with purpose, and if you take on it, you will need the positive energy and the willpower to overcome life's challenges. You will live that extraordinary life. one path to it. An optimist and a pessimist are going to have the same life, but one is going to have a happier one. And it's important, super important, pick the right people to work with. Like where we started this conversation was a tribe that's been around you, that's nurtured you, that's helped you get where you are. So who are your tribe? They're probably people who share your values, what you believe in, people who know you are all connected. The Dalai Lama said, if you seek enlightenment for yourself, simply to enhance yourself and your position, you miss the purpose. But if you seek enlightenment for yourself to enable you to serve others, you are with purpose. So what are you going to do with your lottery ticket? What are you going to do with your one precious life? Life is short. We make it sweet. I invite you to a life of purposeful play and one that is extraordinary.